What's up, my Mind Your Money business folks? It's me yet again with another video. I just got in from work and, just wanted to come online and talk to my people and just put out a little information because my goal is to do a video every day, just do so. So what I want to talk about today are the top 10 money mistakes people make and how you can avoid them. So without further ado, let's get into it. Because money mistakes can be costly, right? So make sure you're not making any of these expensive errors. Don't act off of your emotions because oftentimes after a mistake has been made, it's not realized until afterwards when you've thought about it. Some time has gone by and you're like, oh my goodness, what have I done? When I used to listen to Dave Ramsey every day for 3 years straight, there were so many people calling in saying, I did a stupid thing and I just realized that it was not smart to do. And it sucks. So life is hectic. And after spending time with your family, your friends, and your job, there's not much time left to spend managing your money. There's so much taking up our time. The last thing some people want to do is think about money or what to do with it. But when you leave money unmanaged, these top 10 things that I'm going to give you, common money mistakes, can leave you without a lot less money to spend on fun stuff. If you're not managing your money, if you're not telling your money where to go every day, every week, every month, you're going to wonder where it went or why you don't have enough. So, are any of you guilty of any of these mistakes? Let's see. So the first one that I talk about all the time is no budget or financial plan. When you give yourself no vision, when you give yourself no path to follow in life, where do you expect to end up? You can't keep going down a dead-end street and expecting to find a way through. It's a dead end. So why do you keep making that same mistake? Why do you not come up with a plan? It's like many of us are trying to figure out what the problem is. What is the problem? What is the problem? But you're trying to figure it out. It's like you're trying to figure out why your chest hurts. Go to the doctor. You're trying to figure out why you have a toothache. Go to the dentist. You're trying to figure out so many things on your own when you don't know. So go to those that do know. Seek help. So let's face it. If you don't know where your money goes, you could be spending more than you earn. If you're not tracking your money, if you're not budgeting, you're not paying attention to how much money you're spending. You're not paying attention to how many times you're swiping that credit card. You're not paying attention to how many coffees each day you buy, how many times you go out to eat each week. All you know is that you're broke. And that's why you're broke, because you're not tracking your money, right? So everyone, regardless of any income, need a budget. I have a budget and I have a very good income and I have multiple streams of income and I have a budget, and if you have a major expense in your future, you want to buy a house or a car, right? That's even more important to put together a written plan and then check yourself against it. There are so many people, like I was listening to a video right before I pressed the button to start this video on a kid that had a $14,000 car debt, makes $50,000, but then he ordered a Tesla Y or whatever for $50,000. And it wasn't until it was repeated back to him that he realized that was the most stupidest thing he could have ever done. You make $50,000 and you're buying a $50,000 car. Make it make sense, people. There are people that have a $60,000 job and have an $80,000 car. It makes no sense. So that was number one. No budget, no financial plan. You're giving yourself no direction. Number two, paying the minimum on your credit card. Credit card debt, I just made a video talking about that. Credit card debt is at an all-time high. 1.17 trillion with a T. So are you paying just the minimum on your credit cards? If so, you could be paying for a very long time, people, especially if you have a high interest rate. Because, if you're paying the bare minimum, that interest rate is adding more money to your credit card or to your balance each month. You're spending money you don't have. That's why people use a credit card, because you don't know any better. I don't buy anything unless I have the cash to pay for it. If I want to buy a car, I'm going to pay for it cash. Whew. So do I really need a car, or do I want a car? Especially if I already have a car. So if I want that Lamborghini Urus, it's going to take a lot of cash. But I'm smart enough. I'm not paying that right now. I will in the future, but right now, no, that's stupid, right? So think about it, people. Like when Dave Ramsey taught me, or when he talks about getting out of debt, he talks about the snowball effect. How you just take your money and you start paying off the lowest debt, and then once that debt is paid off, then the money that you were paying towards that debt, you start rolling it to the next debt. And you keep doing it. So you have to increase the amount that you're paying on this debt to pay it off a lot sooner. That's why most people that listen today pay off their mortgages in 7 to 9 years. Let's say 7 to 10. I paid off my mortgage in 27 months, listening to Dave Ramsey. 27 months. I paid off my condo it wasn't a condo, it was a townhome. The last home that I bought back in 2018 in Northern Virginia was $380,185 in December of 2018. September of 2019, I moved out. My job sent me overseas. I rented it out to my coworker who lives in it till this day. He's been living in it with his family since 2019. August of 2019, I left in September of 2019. I've been renting it out. My family was like, I can't believe you're going to rent out your new house. I was like, damn that house. It's a house. It's not my lung. It's not my kidney. It's a house. And someone else is about to move in it and pay it off. Well, help me pay it off. So with that rent coming in, covering the mortgage, I was able to double. I was pretty much paying 3 mortgage payments, and I had savings. Either way, I paid off my mortgage. That $380,000 was done in 27 months. Either way, maybe I'll talk about that one day. Number 3 is no emergency savings fund. Emergencies will happen. Life is happening. We're human. We're a spirit having a human experience. These avatar bodies have problems, medical expenses. The house that you live in is not, sometimes it falls apart. Things in it have issues that needs to be fixed, and you need the money to do so. So you need to plan for those things. I'm telling you, you need to plan for these things. That's why having a budget and a plan helps you in life. So when these things happen, when life happens, like a medical expense, a car expense, a house expense, you're able to take care of it and keep it moving. It's not going to keep you up at night stressing. So emergencies happen when you least expect them. And they're almost guaranteed to be expensive. When you have a rainy day money set aside, even if it's just a small amount, you not only avoid expensive credit card debt, but you also receive some of the stress of handling the emergency itself. You relieve yourself of that stress because you have money set aside. You don't have to use that credit card. You know, you're able to take care of it. Dave Ramsey suggests you have 3 to 6 months of your living expenses set aside for emergencies, because they do and they will happen when you least expect them. Number 4, not saving for retirement. Now, Dave's plan is when you start paying off all your debt, when you're paying off the personal loan, your student loans, your car loans, you stop your retirement. You start paying on those debts. And then once you're out of debt, everything except the mortgage, then you can start contributing that 15% back to your retirement. Put money aside for your kids' college fund. Because now all you have left is your mortgage. But it may take you a couple of years to get out of debt. But what is a couple of years compared to the rest of your life being in debt? You know, just because it takes, here's an example, just because it took a person who may be at the age of 40, 45 to be out of shape, obese, but if that person stick to a plan and a diet and a regimen, or changing their lifestyle, it may not take them another 40 years to get in shape. It may take a good 2 years, a year and a half. It just depends on where you're at and how disciplined you are. Discipline is key. You have to figure out your why, like I spoke in my last video. What is your why? What are you doing this for? So, yeah. Number 6, ignoring a low credit score. I will say this, I really don't care about credit score. And Dave helps me see through not having a credit score, because when you have the money, why do you need credit? If you want a car, I could go pay cash for that car. If I want a car now, I can go pay cash for a brand new car if I want to. If I want a Mercedes, if I want a BMW, but why? I have a good car. Yeah, it's just that when you're out of debt and you're debt free and you have control over your money, you're not thinking about a credit score. Billionaires, Bill Gates probably doesn't even have a credit score. Why? Because he has money. When you have money, you're not thinking about credit score, right? But we are trained to pay attention to our credit score. And here's the thing about your credit score. Your credit score, especially a low credit score, shows that you're not able to manage your debt. And a high credit score just means that you're good at paying off debt. You're good at getting yourself into debt and paying it off. You know, but in order to have a high credit score, you have to go into debt. But, you know, a credit score, if your credit score is less than 600, it's time to do something, because bad credit costs you every day. It costs you not getting, it could cost you not getting a job where, your finances may be scrutinized. If you need like a security clearance, if you work for the government, it may keep you from getting an apartment. It may keep you from being financed for a home, car, so on and so forth. So, and then sometimes because your credit score is low, you end up getting a higher interest rate, and that sucks. So pay attention, people. Make smarter decisions. Stop buying things you don't need, right? Number 6, paying too much for financial services. So when you join a credit union like Global, right, you will pay lower loan rates, or depending upon who your bank is, you may pay a lower rate, fewer fees, and get higher returns on your deposit. It just depends. That you typically find at other banks. So the money you save goes directly towards your bottom line. Plus, when you make smart moves like bundling your insurances, you'll save even more. So I remember I saved money on my car insurance. I started calling them and start questioning, because I was listening to, again, a Dave Ramsey podcast, and it was talking about, and then someone was talking about how much more money they're paying for insurance, and then someone suggested, well, you can do these things to lower it. I remember calling my insurance company and saying, hey, I don't need this, I no longer need that, this car is old, why am I paying this? And my insurance was pretty much cut in half. I still have insurance, but I got rid of the things that I did not need. And again, when you budget, when you get control of your finances, and when you become debt free, you pay attention to things. But when you have no plan, you just keep living. You don't pay attention. You're stressed out all the time. You're not making enough money. You're not saving enough money. And you keep walking blindly, not realizing that you're the problem. You're the problem. So, number 7 is splurging with your tax refund. I see so many people, when that tax return comes, they're out shopping, they go on trips, they're buying things. And most of those things are depreciating assets. So most Americans receive a refund on their tax return, right? While it's tempting to run out and spend it, avoid this common mistake and instead invest the money. Stop buying this stuff. Why are we buying so much stuff? Your basic needs are met. If you have a roof over your head, you have running water, why do we buy all of this stuff? And the reason why I believe that we buy all this stuff is to impress other people. What do they call it? Trying to keep up with the Joneses. We're buying all this stuff trying to impress others. Why go into debt? Why continue to cause yourself stress to impress other people? It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So, with your tax return, you can pad your emergency savings. You could pay off your credit card, make an extra loan or mortgage payment, or invest it into your retirement. But you know what? That makes too much sense. It makes too much sense. It's boring. And I will tell you this, having a budget in today's world is boring because you're not out there doing what everyone else is doing. You're not going out to the bars and the clubs. You're not shopping and buying the latest drip. You're not going on all these vacations, swiping your credit card, posting your pics on social media, showing everyone how you're having like the best life ever. No, you're at home eating rice and beans, prepping your meals for work the next day or for the week. You're going through your budget spreadsheet with your family. You're telling people no. And now you're bored. But be bored now. So when you get older and those same people are working at the age of 66 or 70, you're retired. You're now on vacation. I'm now driving that Lamborghini Urus. I'm comfortable. I'm flying first class wherever I go, whenever I go there. I have multiple properties. I have multiple streams of income. Number 8, we're almost done. Co-signing a loan. Like if you don't have the money, if you have to get a co-signer, that means you can't afford whatever it is, or you have a problem, right? So there are some legitimate reasons to consider co-signing a loan to help your child buy that first car, for example. But in general, co-signing can be a very risky thing to do. I remember when I bought my first car, I wanted a Mitsubishi, that word, Eclipse. But how old was I at the time? I think I was 19. And in order to get the car, I needed a co-signer. And I wanted my aunt to co-sign, and she said no, because she's the one that took me to the dealership, or she took me out car shopping. My mom stayed at home. And when she said no, I was like, wow. So I quickly made a change, and we drove around, and I found a car that I could put in my name. It was a Ford Escort. And that was the best thing, because I do know family members that have co-signed for loans and car loans, and the cars end up being repoed. And then it was a negative strike on the co-signer's credit, which sucks. So it's very risky to do that. So if the other person doesn't make the payments, like I was just saying, you as a cosigner will be responsible for repaying the full amount. Even if they make late payments, it's a strike on your credit. That sucks. Number 9, being underinsured. Or worse yet, having no homeowners or renters insurance at all. Yes, that sucks. Let's say your house catches on fire, or the apartment catches on fire because you're renting, or the condo, whatever. Say you're renting and everything burns up inside. Whoever owns the unit may be able to rebuild that unit, that home, that condo, however, whatever it is, right? But you just lost all of your belongings. Why? Because you have no renter's insurance that covers all of your belongings, your clothes, your furniture, right? A lot of people don't have insurance. They don't have homeowners insurance. And if you don't have homeowners insurance and something happens to your home, who are you going to call? You have no insurance company to call because you have no insurance. You have no homeowners insurance. Now, oftentimes when you have a brand new home, you have to have homeowners insurance, right? I don't know what happens if you don't pay your homeowners insurance, but normally it's tacked into your mortgage and it comes out automatically. But let's say your home is paid off and now the onus is on you. You have no mortgage. The bank is not paying your insurance company anymore. Now it's your responsibility to do so. So if you're not paying it, if something happens to your home, you're asked out. If you're renting and your place catches on fire, that owner rebuilds, but all of your belongings, you're not getting anything. You're not getting any of your electronic equipment, no value of nothing. And I've always had renter's insurance. I remember when I was living in Washington State, someone stole my bicycle, but because I had renter's insurance, I called my insurance company, and my insurance agent said, "You first need to file a police report because we're going to need to see that." And I filed the police report, got the police report. They asked for a quote on the bicycle, how much I paid for it. They asked for a picture if I had one of the bicycle, gave that to them, and I got my money. I remember when I was in Afghanistan, the Humvee ran over my laptop. I filed it with my insurance company, and I got some money. So have your insurance, people. So if you don't think your property is worth much, insurance provides liability coverage, protecting you from a lawsuit if someone is injured on your property or in your home. That's the same with your car insurance. You need to have insurance on your car, people, because if you're in an accident and you hurt someone and you don't have any insurance, they're going to sue you. Yeah. So number 10 is the best one. Living beyond your means. This is tough, people. And living beyond your means, again, is just trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to impress other people that really don't care. I don't know where we got this from. I need to show off to impress other people. Maybe it's a human thing. Yeah. But aren't we all guilty of buying at least one thing we really couldn't afford? But when doing so becomes a habit, when you find yourself eating out too often, or taking vacations you can't afford because you're using your credit card. If you're using your credit card every time you go on vacation and you still have a credit card balance year after year, you can't afford to go on those vacations. You can't afford to eat out as much as you do. If you are carrying a credit card balance, you can't afford your lifestyle. Because if you had the money to pay off your credit card, you would. Right? But if you keep doing all these things you can't afford, your finances will, and they are, spinning quickly out of control. And the best solution to not live beyond your means is by creating a budget. It's just as simple as that. That's the interesting part. To get financial control over your life, to create a savings, to invest more money, to become a millionaire, create a budget. Within your budget, you'll find out, I don't make as much money as I need to make in order to create a solid foundation or a healthy savings or retirement for myself by the age of, 59, 65, 68, 70, whenever it is that you plan to retire. Most people probably, here's the thing, if you're not saving any money, if you have no structure over your life, if you don't have a budget, you're not even thinking about retirement. You don't even know when you're going to retire. If anything, you're telling yourself you will never be able to retire. Because if you can't afford life currently and your life is out of control and you're continuing to spend money you don't have and you buying things you really can't afford, retirement is like the last thing on your mind. And that is a stressful thought. The thought of just not being able to retire, that sucks. We weren't meant to come here on this earth to stress out this bad, people. We are creating our own problems. We are. That's my final answer, and I'm sticking to it. We are the problem. No one forces us to apply for that credit card. No one forces us to go to financial aid and get into all of that student loan debt. However, we may feel like we have to, and you're feeling like you have to, and you do it without thinking. Most people are not thinking. What are you majoring in? Then, how much does that major, or how much does that job pay? Are we preparing people for the world? I would say no, we're not. We're hoping, we as parents, oftentimes, and I know my parents, they were just hoping that we figured it out. They just hope that we figured it out. And because, everyone always says the generation afterwards is smarter than the previous ones, so they think we have it all together, and a lot of times we don't. But there's always a but. And that's the problem. We need to get our butt out of our own ways. That's what my boy Reverend Ike used to say. You need to get your butt out of the way. We are our own problems. We are our own worst enemies. We are our own devils. We can be evil to ourselves. We can be we can be all things. We can be what we want to be. And right now I'm just talking. I'm on a tangent. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about those 10 things, the top 10 money mistakes people make. And I also told you how you can avoid them. And the number one thing is to create a budget, people. Create a budget. How much money do you have coming in after taxes each month? Subtract from that money your expenses, your insurances, your mortgage, your rent, food, daycare, gas, going out to eat, entertainment, vacations. Subtract that. And if your expenses exceed your income, that's where your budget comes into play. You need to figure out a way to tailor some of those things back. You may need to get rid of that $75,000 car, especially on your $65,000 a year job. You need to, maybe learn a new skill that pays more money than your current occupation. You may need to get a side hustle. You may need to leave the state that you're currently in and move to another state that pays more money. You may need to start saying no. Stop taking care of people that should be able to take care of themselves. So on and so forth. All right, so I'm going to end this video on this note. So like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Let me know what you think, if you think anything at all. Just know that, disclaimer, Information in my videos are here for entertainment purposes only and expresses my opinions. But if you want to have a dialogue, post a question or send me an email. We can talk. That's the reason why I'm doing this. I'm trying to get people to think. Think. The things that we complain about in our lives most often are things that we create and things that we continue to pay attention to. Like, why do we keep paying attention to things that make us upset and mad or stresses us out? Like, if that credit card is stressing you out, why do you keep charging it? Crazy. Insane. That's what it is. All right. My light's blinking, so that means I need to get off. All right. So you guys take care. Peace.